Right.
Drunken stories.
Drunken stories. Don't you all love it, folks?
Hi, I'm a dumbass. I'm Chris.
And let's start off with Chris, because let's be real, you don't really think he's going to be a dumbass. Maybe.
I'm not like the biggest dumbass when I drink. I normally keep myself to myself.
Sure.
When I drink, I have stages of drunkenness. I have giddy, I have huggy, I have singy. Singy is a little bit of a show off. He has sung Old Man River in the back of an alley.
It's confidence. Massive confidence boost.
Exactly. I got to the point where I was drunk enough that there was a karaoke machine and I was in every song for 3 hours.
Nice.
I wasn't the main singer. I didn't have the microphone, but I was there for every song.
That's called the backup singer if you're not too sure what it's going on about.
Oh no, I was lead vocal each time.
Okay.
I just
backsack, but the ego grows.
Yeah. But I think I have a couple of favourite things I recall. I don't remember everything, but the pub we used to go to had a thing where you were allowed to bring in food. I think it was a thing they did because they didn't serve the food themselves, but they wanted their patrons to be able to get some carbs in them, so they weren't just, chugging alcohol on empty stomachs.
Because at the end of the day, if you got food, you can drink more.
Exactly. But it also means they know you have carbs in the system, so you're not going to hate yourself as much in the morning.
Yeah.
Right, dead opposite this pub is a kebab house.
Ah, yes.
Now, someone said I was hungry at this point. I was quite a few drinks in. I was hungry. And someone went, "Hey, Chris, do you fancy some cheesy chips from across the road?"
What do you feel do you fancy some cheesy chips from across the road?
It felt like that. the magic was there, right?
The magic beans.
The magic. And of course, I got giddy. It's 11 o'clock. I've got half an hour before they shut the door on you.
Yeah.
To make sure no one goes out too late and makes the noise and everything. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get me some cheesy chips. So we're just it's late. We live in a quiet town, so it's quite safe just to bolt across the road.
Yeah.
My body forgot this thing called turning.
Oh.
So instead of so we sort of ran across the road, and instead of turning to slow down to go into the kebab shop, my brain goes, I don't know how to stop. There's a brick wall there. I just ran straight into this brick wall. And I bounced off it. And you're right. I went, yeah, my stomach hit it first.
I'm surprised I didn't empty it.
Nah, cast iron stomach back then. Great cheesy chips.
Yeah, I mean
I cushioned my hands so my head didn't hit the wall.
Fair.
I did this sort of thing. Because my arms remembered how to function. My legs were going, we're going straight.
Yeah, I mean, when you're going to dash, you're going to dash.
You're going to dash, yeah. I was just straight. Oh my God. I mean, it hurt the next morning.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you're kind of drunk, it kind of numbs the motions.
Oh, that's one of them. Another one that includes pain is I went out with a good friend of mine. This is...
I know this one.
We went for a Chinese first. It was lovely. Then we went on a night in the town. We did a couple of places and we ended up at the nightclub of the town. I'm not a big fan of this nightclub, but the town was quite quiet, and we were like, you know what, if there's no one there, we know we're gonna call it a night. It's about 11:30 at this point, and we go and it's free. No, it's probably midnight because it's free entry after midnight. And I saw someone who I hadn't seen in ages, and me being drunk, giddy drunk, I shout his name, he sees me, and I run at him. Now he's built like Mark. He's a solid man.
Yeah.
And I run and jump at him.
Think of the Drake and Josh scene when they run up and hug. That's the best one.
However, which one is Josh the big one? Yeah. Instead of Drake and Josh, it was Josh and Josh.
Yeah.
Because we were both. And I run and jump at him. I give him a hug. But to make sure he doesn't topple over, he uses my momentum and he swings me around. Completely innocently. He's just trying to make sure he doesn't stack it and we both fall on the floor. He didn't notice, and I didn't notice, there was a metal bar which was horizontal right at knee height. And I connected with this bar about here, on this knee, right here. Just, like, it twanged, like, it was louder than the music. And normally, when Mark's right, when you're drunk, it numbs the pain a little. I went down like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, it may numb it, but it's not going to, like, cancel out fully.
Yeah. That was me for the night. I was in agony. And my knee hasn't been perfect since.
No.
I probably did some actual damage that night. Like, there was no bruise or anything the next day. I was very surprised.
Yeah, the body will remind you of the fact that you've been a moron.
But... That's two of them. I've got one more, but I want Mark to tell you about how dumb he's been for a little bit.
There's so many cases with mine. There's the fact I still remember there's one case that I went out drinking with some folks. I think it might have... No, was it before I got with somebody? It might have been before I got with somebody. It was when I was hanging out with the other two.
Yeah.
And someone else came down, an old crewmate of mine. They weren't a drinker. They came out to be social. I mixed drinks and I got incredibly drunk from one bar. The fact is that the place that stays open the longest, and at the time they were moving to, I said, oh yeah, I'll see how I feel, I'll meet you guys down there. I turned to the barkeepers, and bear in mind, I've worked in bars. I wouldn't even serve myself at this point. I turned around and said, like, would you still serve me? Because that was going to decide if I went to the other bar or not. I had two, and they said yes. And there were somehow two random strangers that were also going to that bar that somehow decided to take me there. So there was me with two strangers on either side making my way all the way through town. Bear in mind, I'm barely able to walk. Now, I'm not the most lightest of fellas, and they're not necessarily the same built as me.
Was it spoons you were starting at?
So... No, this was before the Queen changed over.
Oh,
it was still the whole. It was still the whole.
Oh my god!
And I went to them being like,
oh my
like, yes.
god, that's some time ago. If it was still the whole.
So I made my way from the whole all the way over to the other place.
Gee, that's a stagger.
I remember I got in there and as I was saying, oh, I met a friend. But like, yeah, I made it. Sat at the table, had a drink. My head kind of hit the table. Someone that I'm not friends with too anymore was talking. They are sometimes a liar or they bullshit a lot.
They exaggerate.
They must have said something. I lifted my head off the table and I said, would you shut the fuck up? That's not what happened. And then I went down and everyone just looked at me. And the thing is, I'm not quiet in the fact. It's like when I've had alcohol, the fact is literally, it's like, would you shut the fuck up? That's not what happened. And then my head just goes down. And it's like, I'm not zoned out, it's just like, I'm basically like, I'm almost napping, like, have everyone look at me. It's kind of shocked because no one expected me to be nice here, like, loud when I say stuff, but I do have the booming voice that it does come out. So there's me being like, oh, they all thought I was the quiet one. No, and the fact is, if I need to be loud, I will be loud.
Yeah.
And it was just the fact, but it was the time that I did end up having to call in a lift for me getting back because where I live, it would have been it would have been a mission. I would have got home. However, it would have been if I got mugged or anything like that. It probably would have been like it wouldn't end well for either party.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. Yeah. Speaking of getting home, that does lead to my other story, so I'm going to use that. So, within the first month of me moving into the flat, we went for a night. It was the housewarming party.
Oh, yeah, too then, yeah.
Yeah, so I've only been here about a month or so. No, it wasn't the housewarming, it was a friend's birthday. It was the second party we had here. It's the one with the, all the face paint on the picture.
Because it was the one that I was working. Because we had the housewarming thing afterwards.
Housewarming was first. This one was after. This one was... It's actually coming up in like 2 months' time. 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
But yeah, point is, my parents have recently moved to the other side of town. They moved into like the posh hilly side, and I'm on the opposite flat side. I'm near the lakes, per se.
Yeah.
So they're a good 5 miles apart. And they are 5 miles apart because I have walked it sober since. It takes me a while. But yeah, so we were at the pub, which finishes late, which is probably in the middle of the two.
Yes.
probably a little bit closer to mine than theirs. It's probably about 40 minutes to mine walk. It's probably about 50 to 60 minutes to theirs. But they're quite similar in distance. We finished, it was at 3 a.m. I'm like, right, I'm going to walk home so I can sober up a little bit. Bearing in mind it's May, so it's about 2, 3 o'clock. I can't remember. Did I say 3?
Yeah.
So it's 3 o'clock. But I'm quite drunk. And I leave, and now my brain, having only been drunk twice since moving to the flat, goes, right, I'm going to walk home. And I start walking. I walk to my parents. I am fully committed. And I've walked 30 minutes. A good, probably like 30 normal minutes, probably 40 minutes because I'm drunk. And I realise I don't live there anymore. I live the other side of town. And bear in mind, there is a shortcut route which I could have just gone like round and it would have only taken me about an hour. I'm like, could have done that. Should have done that. My brain goes, nah, go back to the place where you started and start again.
Yeah.
It was 6 a.m. when I got home. Took me 3 hours.
Sobered up from them.
Nope. I was still very drunk. I'm very glad it was the bank holiday weekend, the late May one, which meant I had 2 days. I pretty much slept all the Sunday. I think I slept about 4 hours to about 10, and I forced myself to stay up to about 9, but just like kept hydrating. I think I had like a really greasy takeaway for dinner, just to like try and...
Yeah, fair. Yeah, it's the system out.
I felt like shit all day. Didn't have a hangover, but just like my stomach wasn't settled.
Yeah. Yeah, because like with some of the alcohol, it's like unless you've had something, it kind of just swells around.
Yeah, and obviously I'd eaten takeaway the night before. I had takeaway again that day, so I had a lot of grease in my body. It just, if I have too much grease, it just doesn't settle for me.
Yeah.
And it gives me a really bad stomach. And then I went to bed at 9 o'clock and I started Monday completely fine. Like resetted my week and I was ready for work Tuesday. But oh my god, I can't believe I tracked my steps and oh my god, I'm glad I didn't track the map I went.
It would be funny like
But yeah, that was my other main stupid.
Now we can probably talk more back and
You've
forth.
got to have one more.
And I mean, there are the ones that I remember, and there's ones that I don't remember. Like I'll do a really short one actually. The time that I got in a stranger's car, and somehow got dropped. So I'm very not paranoid, but I'm very selective of where I tell I actually live to people, especially when I don't know them.
Yeah.
I left the place that stays the longest, somehow got in a car, didn't actually sit in the seat, I somehow was sat in the footwell. Someone of my size fitting in a footwell. And I said, oh yeah, drop me off at the station and I will get back. My vision or something was gone. Like, I could felt myself being in that position, but I don't remember myself getting out of the car onto the side of the road. And now I don't remember actually how I managed to get back from there or to where I actually live, because it's actually a fair walk from there to get back. Somehow I managed to get there, but I didn't sleep on my bed normally, like just flat. Oh no, I was at an angle, fully dressed, just at an angle. So like my legs were hanging out one side, my head was to the other, and I just slept like that for like the whole day. That's a really short one of me getting into a stranger's car and somehow getting dropped off, and somehow me not being kidnapped or anything like that. I mean, like, I must be a really lovable guy.
I think so.
Also, maybe they thought they couldn't take me on.
Maybe they tried. They were just like,
yeah,
nah, it's too much.
The other time is when I was walking back with Chris and like I think it was a few others at the time. When I walked out of the place, I think I was briefly mentioned this on the last episode. I smashed my knee completely against a very stone structure. I think it was like one of the. I want to say it was like it was either a pot. It was like one of those stone Chinese takeaway like statue things you see outside.
Yeah.
Full on smashed my knee into it.
Yeah.
That the fact like I kind of like crippled my knee, and everyone like looked at me and think like they could hear it, and there was just me like I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
I have one good, not stupid drunk story. This was the party after the housewarming. We had a Hawaii. It was a Hawaiian party.
I got them
so me and a couple of friends, we went to the same pub and we were walking out. We actually finished up quite early this part. Okay, we started the party at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But the party finished about 10, 11 o'clock at night, and me and these two guy friends, like, we're walking back. Bearing in mind, we're in like Hawaiian shirts, we've got leis, I'm wearing a skirt because you're like a hula skirt. And we're walking through like the alleys of the town, quickest way back to mine, because we're not actually that drunk. And we're mid to late 20s. We're 25? No, we're younger than that.
I think you're
We're 23. Yeah, we were 23. Like, and we see this kid. She's probably 17, 18, but she's young. And she's not from the town. She doesn't know where anything is.
Oh.
Right in the middle of like these alleys, and she comes up to her and goes, "Really sorry, I know this is random, but I don't know where I am. My phone's dead. I'm supposed to be at XYZ, and I was told it was on this road, but I don't know where that is. My phone's dead. I can't call my mum. Blah blah blah. I'm really panicking," and I instantly go from drunk giddy to sober. Like, Scout Dad kicks in. I'm like, okay, that's absolutely no worries. Thank you for approaching, feeling comfortable. Right, so what is it? Right, do you want to get that road up, guys? Okay, that's good. I'm like, those two are on navigation. I'm talking to this kid, and this creepy old man emerges from around this pub. Goes, "Is everything all right? Can I help with anything?" And I'm like proper, like, if we left her alone with this guy,
there might be something going on.
yeah, she would not be getting home that night in one piece. Allegedly. Just like, that's the vibe it gave off. And I went, no, it's okay, I got it. Are you sure? And one of the other guys, he's a bit more try-hardy, sort of muscle. He goes, "No, we've got this." "Oh, okay. Have a good evening." And he just wanders off. Like, this guy, if it was just one of us, he might try a bit more, but there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
We find where she goes. It's actually sort of on the way home for us. Like, it's like, instead of going that way, we just like we have to do A and B instead of C on the triangle, and that's fine by us. We're going to help this kid, and we basically get her where she needs to go. Her friends see her. She sees her with 3 guys who are clearly older, and one of the male friends there goes, "Who the fuck are you guys?" I'm like, "We're just 3 randos. She came to us for help. We got her here. She's all yours." And we're just like, we give them, I shout, "Look, this is my name. I live this way. If you have any problems, you know where to find me. We're heading there now." And they went, "Oh no, that's fair. That's cool." And we go home. We went home and watched Deadpool, and had a few more drinks.
Fair.
Went to bed about 2. So yeah. So not being drunk all the time isn't always bad.
No.
Or isn't always chaotic.
No.
Sometimes you can be helpful.
On that note, we'll probably end it there. We can always
Yeah.
talk about more drunk stories.
Exactly. This is probably the longest one of the lot we've
It
done.
probably is.
But yeah, have fun, peeps.
Alright.
Tatty, bye.
Just a couple of guys chatting over a brew. Won't tell you no lies, it's